Have you ever thought that something as simple, as innocent, as the fruit sitting in your kitchen bowl could quietly raise your risk of stroke while you sleep? Imagine going to bed feeling fine, only to wake up with slurred speech, weakness on one side, or dizziness you can't explain. For many older adults, that terrifying reality happens not because of fast food, cigarettes, or heavy alcohol, but because of everyday fruits eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong way, or in dangerous amounts. I'm going to walk you through 9 fruits that, while healthy for some, can be surprisingly risky for seniors, especially after 60, because of how our bodies change with age. This isn't about fear, it's about understanding how aging affects metabolism, kidney and liver function, and the way our blood vessels respond. The same banana that was perfectly safe at 30 can become problematic at 70 when combined with high blood pressure medication or slowed kidney function. Let's uncover the hidden risks together. First up, bananas. We've all heard that bananas are the perfect healthy snack, rich in potassium, great for blood pressure, heart health, and muscle cramps. But here's the twist. As we age, our kidneys often don't filter potassium as efficiently. Add in common medications like ACE inhibitors or diuretics, and potassium can build up in the blood to dangerous levels. This condition, called hyperkalemia, doesn't just affect your heart rhythm. It can also destabilize blood vessels and trigger clot formation. That's exactly what happened to a 66-year-old patient who ate bananas daily with his morning pills. One morning, he collapsed with a stroke, and tests revealed his potassium was far too high. The lesson? Seniors should limit bananas to half a piece a day, eat them earlier, and always pair them with protein or fat, like yogurt or nuts. Never as a late-night sugar rush. Now, grapes, the sugar bombs in disguise. Tiny, sweet, and often eaten by the handful, grapes seem harmless. But they pack concentrated natural sugars that cause sudden spikes in blood glucose. In younger people, the body quickly handles those swings, but in seniors, insulin response slows, making the spike sharper and the crash harder. Repeated spikes inflame blood vessels, damage the delicate inner lining, and encourage clot formation. One of my older patients, an 80-year-old woman, loved snacking on grapes every evening. Over time, those innocent bowls of fruit led to unstable blood sugar, and eventually a mini stroke. If you enjoy grapes, treat them as a garnish, not a meal. A small handful with a piece of cheese or a few almonds is far safer than a late-night binge. Then there's pineapple. Juicy, tropical, and complicated. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that can interfere with platelet function and clotting. Combine that with high sugar and strong acidity, and you've got a risky recipe for nighttime problems. The acidity can cause reflux, even tiny episodes of aspiration that reduce oxygen to the brain while you sleep. Add sugar spikes and bromelaine's clotting effects, and you've set the stage for morning strokes. One 77-year-old woman swore by her nightly bowl of pineapple chunks, until she suffered a posterior circulation stroke in her sleep. The advice is simple. Enjoy pineapple earlier in the day, in small portions, and be extra careful if you're on blood thinners. Watermelon is next, surprisingly tricky. We think of watermelon as hydrating, and it can be, but it's also a natural diuretic. Seniors who already take diuretics or blood pressure pills may end up flushing out too much fluid, leading to dehydration overnight. That makes blood thicker, slows circulation, and reduces oxygen supply to the brain. Perfect conditions for clotting. One 82-year-old man had a nightly habit of watermelon bowls before bed. One morning, he woke dizzy and collapsed. Doctors found dehydration and an ischemic stroke. If you love watermelon, eat it earlier, not at night. Pair it with electrolytes like a pinch of salt or coconut water, and always check with your doctor if you're on medications. What about oranges and citrus? Citrus fruits are packed with vitamin C, but here's the hidden danger. Compounds in citrus can interfere with liver enzymes that process medications. This is why grapefruit juice has a notorious reputation. It can raise or lower drug levels in the blood. The same risk exists, though to a lesser degree, with other citrus fruits like oranges. For a 79-year-old patient on blood pressure and cholesterol medications, daily orange juice caused his drug levels to spike, leading to dizziness and eventually a stroke. Seniors on prescriptions should never drink large glasses of citrus juice without checking with their doctor. A few slices of orange are usually fine, but be cautious. Even apples aren't always safe. Modern apple varieties like Honeycrisp, Fuji, or Gala are bred to be ultra-sweet. While delicious, they spike blood sugar almost like candy. Repeated sugar surges and crashes cause inflammation and micro-tears in aging vessels, paving the way for clot formation. A woman in her 80s who loved her daily sweet apple ended up with unstable blood sugar and a minor stroke. The smarter choice? Tart apples like Granny Smith. Eat them with nut butter or cheese to slow absorption, and never snack on sweet apples alone before bed. Cherries, too, have a secret. They contain natural salicylates, compounds that act like aspirin. That sounds good for clot prevention, but for seniors already on aspirin or blood thinners, it can go too far and cause brain bleeds. One 84-year-old man on daily aspirin thought cherries were harmless until he developed a hemorrhagic stroke after eating them nightly. The solution? Enjoy cherries in moderation, not buckets at a time, and talk to your doctor if you're on anticoagulants. Strawberries. Bright, fresh, but not risk-free. They're often loaded with pesticides, and seniors don't detoxify chemicals as efficiently. Strawberries also contain purines that raise uric acid, which can inflame blood vessels and worsen conditions like gout or kidney disease. An 80-year-old woman who loved daily strawberry smoothies later developed oxidative stress markers and suffered a minor ischemic stroke. If you choose strawberries, pick organic, wash them thoroughly, and limit daily portions. Finally, mango, the tropical sugar trap. 1 cup can have over 40 grams of sugar, and dried mango is even more concentrated. Beyond sugar spikes, mango may interfere with liver enzymes that process medications, just like grapefruit. For an 83-year-old man on heart meds, dried mango triggered lightheadedness and eventually a minor stroke. If you love mango, stick to a few bites, eat them during the day, and never in concentrated dried form. So what should seniors eat instead? The safest fruits are those lower in sugar and higher in protective compounds. Berries, like blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, are rich in anthocyanins that strengthen vessels, regulate blood pressure, and support brain health. Green apples, avocados, lemons, and small amounts of pomegranate are also excellent choices. And remember the golden rules. Eat fruit earlier in the day, never on an empty stomach. Always pair with protein or fat, and limit portion size. Most importantly, if you're on medication, ask your doctor which fruits to avoid or limit. Aging doesn't mean giving up fruit. It means eating smarter. By making small changes, choosing the right fruit, the right time, and the right combinations, you can still enjoy nature's sweetness while protecting your brain and keeping strokes at bay. So the next time you look at a fruit bowl, don't just see a healthy snack. See the power to harm, or to heal, depending on how wisely you choose. What makes fruit so tricky for seniors is not just the sugar, the potassium, or the acids. It's how those elements interact with an aging body and common medications. The truth is, your brain and blood vessels after 60 are far more sensitive than they were in your younger years. This is why stroke risk peaks in the morning hours, right after we wake up. And often, the foods we ate the night before silently tip the scales in the wrong direction. One hidden factor is blood pressure fluctuation overnight. Many seniors experience what's called nocturnal dipping, where blood pressure drops too low during sleep. That sounds good, But if the drop is extreme, it reduces blood flow to the brain. Pair that with dehydration from fruits like watermelon, or drug interactions from citrus, and the brain is left vulnerable. The vessels may constrict or clot more easily, which is why so many strokes occur between 4 and 8 a.m. Another overlooked issue is blood viscosity, the thickness of your blood. When we eat high-sugar fruits before bed, the body works all night to manage glucose surges. This causes spikes in insulin, inflammation, and oxidative stress that can make blood stickier. In seniors, stickier blood means a higher chance of clot formation. Add medications like statins or diuretics into the mix, and the balance becomes even more fragile. Let's look at a scenario. Imagine a senior who enjoys a large bowl of sweet grapes at 9 p.m. The sugar surge hits, insulin rises, and blood vessels become inflamed. At the same time, blood pressure medications taken at bedtime lower pressure further. Then, as they sleep, dehydration sets in. By early morning, blood is thicker, oxygen supply is lower, and one tiny clot is enough to cause a mini stroke. What seemed like a healthy choice just 12 hours earlier has now become a dangerous trigger. But the solution isn't to avoid fruit completely. Instead, it's about timing, pairing, and variety. The worst thing seniors can do is eat fruit in isolation, especially sugary fruit. When you combine fruit with protein or healthy fats, the sugar enters the bloodstream more slowly, avoiding sudden spikes. Think apple slices with peanut butter or berries stirred into Greek yogurt. These simple combinations transform a risky snack into a nourishing one. There's also the issue of portion size. Many people assume that because fruit is natural, there's no such thing as too much. But the body doesn't distinguish between 40 grams of sugar from a mango and 40 grams of sugar from soda. They both create a metabolic burden. The difference is that fruit brings fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants along for the ride. That's valuable, but not a free pass to overeat. Seniors, in particular, should think in terms of half portions rather than full servings. A few bites of mango, half a banana, a small handful of grapes. These are safer, brain-friendly amounts. It's also important to consider how fruit is prepared. Smoothies, juices, dried fruits. These forms strip away fiber and concentrate sugar. A single cup of fruit juice may contain the sugar of 3 or 4 whole fruits, delivered straight into the bloodstream. Dried fruits, like raisins or dried mango, are even worse. For seniors on blood pressure or diabetes medications, this concentrated sugar can destabilize the body quickly. If you enjoy smoothies, balance them with leafy greens, nuts, or protein powder to slow absorption. Now, let's flip the script and talk about fruits that truly support brain and vessel health. Berries remain the champions. Blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries contain anthocyanins, compounds that strengthen vessel walls, reduce inflammation, and improve circulation. Studies show that older adults who eat berries regularly have better memory and reduced stroke risk. Unlike bananas or mangoes, berries give you antioxidants without a heavy sugar load. Avocados are another secret weapon. They're technically a fruit, but instead of sugar, they provide healthy fats that stabilize blood sugar, protect nerves, and support blood pressure. Seniors who replace part of their daily fruit intake with avocado often see steadier energy and fewer vascular fluctuations. Citrus zest, not the juice, can also be helpful. The peel contains flavonoids that improve circulation and support detox pathways, without the sugar surge or medication interference of the juice. Adding a bit of lemon zest to water or salads gives you the benefit without the risk. Then there's pomegranate, one of the most misunderstood fruits. The juice is extremely concentrated, and yes, it can interact with medications. But in tiny diluted amounts, pomegranate delivers powerful antioxidants that protect arteries from hardening. The key is moderation. A few spoonfuls of diluted juice, not a glass. And don't overlook seasonal rotation. Eating the same fruit every single day increases the chance of nutrient imbalance or hidden overload, whether it's sugar, potassium, or salicylates. By rotating fruits, berries one day, a green apple the next, a few orange slices later in the week, you give your body variety while avoiding the cumulative risks of repetition. Beyond the fruit itself, lifestyle habits amplify or reduce risk. Pairing fruit with hydration is essential. A glass of water before and after fruit helps maintain blood volume and prevents the thickened blood effect that promotes clots. Likewise, regular physical activity, even a 15-minute walk after eating fruit, helps the body process sugar more effectively and keeps blood flow strong. Seniors who move after meals dramatically lower their overnight stroke risk. There's also the matter of sleep position. While it may sound surprising, sleeping flat on the back after eating acidic fruits like pineapple or citrus can increase reflux and microaspiration, which lowers nighttime oxygen. Elevating the head slightly or avoiding those fruits in the evening reduces this risk. It's a small change, but for fragile blood vessels, it can make a difference. Let's bring this together. Fruit isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. The real danger comes from believing all fruit is universally safe, no matter your age, medication, or health condition. Seniors must rethink fruit the same way they rethink salt or alcohol. Beneficial in moderation, harmful in excess, and sometimes dangerous in combination. The path forward is simple but powerful. Choose low sugar, high antioxidant fruits like berries and green apples. Avoid fruit on an empty stomach or right before bed. Pair fruit with protein, fat, and hydration. Rotate your choices and watch portion sizes. And above all, communicate with your doctor if you take medications. By respecting these rules, fruit becomes what it should be, a daily ally for brain health, not a hidden enemy. So, next time you're tempted to reach for a large bowl of fruit late at night, pause and remember, your brain will thank you tomorrow for making a smarter choice today. The risk of morning stroke doesn't just come from eating fruit the wrong way. There are many other factors, so common that we often overlook them, that silently create the perfect environment for blood clots to form and attack the brain. One of the biggest factors is overnight dehydration. While we sleep, the body takes in no water for 6 to 8 hours. Older adults especially tend to feel less thirsty, leading to chronic dehydration. When blood lacks water, it becomes thicker, more viscous, and harder to flow through tiny brain capillaries. This thickness is a major contributor to stroke risk at dawn. That's why just a glass of water before bed and another right after waking up can be life-saving. Next is nighttime blood pressure fluctuation. Normally, blood pressure dips while we sleep. But in older adults, this regulation is often unstable. Some experience dangerously low blood pressure, reducing blood flow to the brain. Others experience a sudden surge in the early morning when hormones like cortisol and adrenaline rise to prepare the body for waking. Both extremes are dangerous. Too low and the brain is starved of oxygen. Too high and weakened blood vessels can rupture. Another often overlooked factor is sleep apnea. This condition interrupts breathing during sleep, causing oxygen levels in the blood to repeatedly drop. People with sleep apnea often wake up feeling tired, foggy, or with headaches, unaware that their brain was deprived of oxygen dozens of times overnight. These oxygen fluctuations damage blood vessels, raising the risk of morning stroke. Medications also play a crucial role. Older adults commonly take multiple prescriptions: blood pressure drugs, diuretics, blood thinners, sleeping pills. Each of these affects blood and vessels differently. Diuretics may worsen dehydration overnight. Strong sleeping pills can mask warning signals like a rapid heart rate or pressure changes. Stopping blood thinners abruptly can trigger a stroke within days. Even something as simple as sleeping position matters. Sleeping face down or with the neck bent can restrict blood flow through the carotid arteries. For someone with narrowed arteries from plaque buildup, just a 10–20% extra restriction can mean reduced brain circulation for hours. A poor sleeping posture, repeated every night, can unknowingly become a stroke trigger. Lastly, there's the impact of stress and hormones. Seniors don't just battle emotional stress, they also face hormonal shifts. Cortisol rises in the early morning to provide energy, but when it's too high, it increases blood pressure, blood sugar, and platelet stickiness. This combination is a perfect setup for clot formation. None of these factors act alone. They interact and compound the danger. Imagine an older adult slightly dehydrated, sleeping poorly, taking a diuretic at night, and eating a sugary fruit before bed. Altogether, this creates the perfect storm for a stroke at sunrise. Prevention lies in controlling each small piece of the puzzle. Drink enough water, especially before bed and after waking. Monitor blood pressure at different times, not just during the day. Get checked for sleep apnea if you snore or feel tired after sleep. Discuss with your doctor the best timing for medications. Maintain a safe sleep posture, avoiding neck compression. Relax the mind before bedtime to reduce hormonal spikes. Small adjustments can make a huge difference. Most importantly, recognizing these hidden risks empowers seniors to see that stroke is not just random misfortune. It has causes, it has warning signs, and it can be prevented.
Beyond avoiding hidden dangers from fruits or late-night habits, the real key to protecting the brain is building healthy daily routines. The brain and blood vessels work like a finely tuned machine. If fueled correctly and maintained regularly, they can run smoothly for many years. The first habit to highlight is eating breakfast the right way. Seniors often skip breakfast or just snack on pastries or very ripe fruit. But after a long night, the body needs stable fuel, not a sugar spike. An ideal breakfast includes protein from eggs, fish, or Greek yogurt, healthy fats from avocado, walnuts, or olive oil, a small portion of low-sugar fruit like blueberries, strawberries, or green apples. This balance keeps blood sugar steady, sharpens the brain, and prevents unnecessary strain on blood vessels. Next is light, consistent movement. Many believe only heavy exercise matters, but for seniors, gentle walks after meals are even more valuable. A 10–15-minute walk after lunch or dinner improves circulation, lowers sugar buildup, and reduces stress on the heart. A small daily habit, if kept consistently, can greatly cut stroke risk. Quality sleep is another underrated form of medicine. Sleep deprivation doesn't just cause fatigue, it raises blood pressure, disturbs heart rhythms, and makes the brain more vulnerable to damage. Seniors should keep a consistent bedtime, reduce evening screen exposure, and avoid sweet fruits or too much water right before bed, which often disrupt sleep. One powerful tool is a personal health journal. Write down morning blood pressure, heart rate, sleep quality, and evening meals. Within weeks, patterns emerge. Certain fruits raise blood pressure, dehydration leads to morning headaches, late nights increase palpitations. This personal data is priceless for adjusting lifestyle choices in a tailored way. Stress management is equally vital. Older adults often carry stress from illness, loneliness, or financial worries. But stress itself damages vessels silently. Just 10 minutes of meditation, deep breathing, or calming music each day can lower cortisol levels, making blood vessels more elastic and the brain more resilient. And don't underestimate the power of social connection. Research shows that seniors with strong social lives, those who regularly chat with friends, join community activities, or spend time with family, face lower risks of stroke and dementia. Conversations, laughter, and companionship nourish not only the soul, but also the brain and heart. When combined, balanced breakfasts, gentle movement, restorative sleep, mindful tracking, stress control, and social bonds, these habits form a natural shield against stroke and cognitive decline. This isn't a quick fix, but a sustainable way of life, a personal commitment to health and longevity. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Live Healthy every day so you won't miss our upcoming videos on health and wellness. Share your experiences in the comments, and let's build a supportive community together, living healthier, happier, and more meaningful lives every single day.